Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today, we're discussing Farscape, Season 3, Episode 1, Season of Death. The reunited crew and Scorpius's squad race to escape from the Diagnosis facility.
Erin's not dead.
Not really, no.
She's significantly less dead now.
But there's a price to pay.
Yeah, well, Zan finally did something.
Oh, that's harsh. I was wondering if you would pick up on this in the previous episode, because when Braca is looking for Grunschlick, he looks in one of the caskets, in one of the donor caskets, and Erin's in there.
Yeah, I did see that, but I didn't consider what it would mean.
You'd have to make quite a leap to come to this point. But that was a little clue they left in. A little glimmer of hope. Before we dive into the episode itself, I want to talk about first of all, the title. It's Season of Death. Any thoughts on that?
Sounds like a tour for a heavy metal band. I don't think that's what it is, though.
It's just an ominous title for the first episode of the season.
Bunch of people are gonna die, including Jothi.
Really? Is that your hope? No, I'm not surprised by that at all, actually. Aside from the title, which is shown on screen, by the way, previous episodes never had the titles on screen, but now they're actually naming the episodes and showing the name. There's also a new theme tune.
I don't like it as much.
It's very similar. If I had to pick, I would just pick one at random. I don't think there's much between them. I kind of like this one. I really like the voiceover on this. We don't have the insane military commander stuff anymore. We have Earth is unprepared for the nightmares I've seen.
That's true. I did notice Claudia Black was still in the intro when it happened.
Oops.
Yeah, a bit of a spoiler there. I thought something was up as soon as I saw her.
Chris and Scorpius are in the intro, aren't they?
And Stark.
That's right, and Stark. So I guess we can expect a lot of Scorpius and a lot of Stark this season, and a lot of Grace.
If not, then that intro is weird.
They're already in it quite a lot anyway. Even latter half of season 2, they were in it enough to probably warrant titles credit.
I'm definitely okay with more Scorpius, more Stark, and even more Grace at this point.
Gosh. So now that Jothi's turned up, your Grace opinion has raised somewhat.
I can only rage at one person at a time, and Jothi deserves it more than Grace. Grace is rehabilitated, mostly because of the high heels.
I told you you'd like him one day. He's the cool uncle of the show. Or crazy uncle, I don't know.
No, he's just the uncle. He's not... That's it. He's the uncle.
The actual episode, then. How did you find this little cat and mouse game? I bet you liked it.
I did like it. How did you know?
Well, generally because the show's pretty good.
But this episode has Jothi flirting and presumably doing stuff with Chiana.
Oh, they did it.
Yeah, I mean, she's adjusting his pants.
And Dogger's talking about how he can't smell anything because of the cold, and they're like, whoa. I bet there was a bit of a punch in that room.
I kept waiting for Rigel to say something like that to confirm it.
That whole love triangle is awkward.
It's bad. Not really, I just don't like it. But I'm horribly biased.
John talks again.
Because, of course.
Yep, your protagonist is not going to talk gibberish forever.
The doctor got to die again.
Oh, he seems a lot more dead this time.
Yeah, his face is all bubbly.
Yeah, and interestingly, Thomas Holsgrove played both Diagnosin, Tukot, and the Scarran. So, the actor killed himself. Or murdered himself. I think he plays most of the Scarrans.
I really liked the Scarran raising his hand ineffectively in the cold, not being able to shoot his vapor.
Scarrans are tough. Dargo tried to stab him, it just didn't work.
And then John calls him a horse face. So I like to think he was very confused in the throes of death, wondering what a horse was, and then he dies.
I hope you enjoy thinking that.
Thank you.
I don't really have a response to that.
I was confused when Aaron was brought back to life because it seemed like she rejected it, and then even Zan was convinced that she didn't go through with it. So I don't understand. Wouldn't Zan know? Is she even bad at doing the one thing she did?
It's like if you donated all of your blood to someone, you would probably know if it had happened. I think it's a narrative trick, so that it's really surprising when they're not all killed by commandos. I don't know.
I think that's all it is, unfortunately.
It comes off as contrived.
Yeah. Zan should know that's what happened. Not even 2 seconds of being alive and Aaron does something badass.
She's already killed someone.
2.
Oh yeah, 2 people. Scorpius was killed in this episode.
They need to stop with announcing Scorpius's death.
Well, they didn't leave it hanging in this. They showed him soon after, obviously not dead.
Still, the characters, they need to stop saying Scorpius is dead.
Oh yeah, they should be learning by now that he's usually just messing with them.
Now it feels like they're going to do it every episode.
This is the 3rd season now. It still surprises me how many little bits and pieces this show adds in, which makes me dearly love it.
Can you be more specific?
I could be very specific with examples.
Please do that.
Dargo says to Tukot, the Diagnosin, "Where are you going?" He just says, "Must excrete." Dargo's like, he has to go to the toilet.
I loved that moment. No one ever talks about going to the bathroom. Ever.
No. And the way he says it is... Dargo doesn't even respond. He's like, okay.
Yeah, because people excrete.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta go.
It's not always convenient during commercial breaks.
I have other examples. When Erin explains to John why she's not quite as dead as she used to be, she uses the phrase, Zan did a Unity thing. She didn't even say, oh, she,
performed Unity.
She retrieved my soul from the spiritual nexus of the 7th level of the astral whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's just, I don't know, she did a thing. But it worked because that's essentially what the plot device is. There's no reasoning behind it. It's just a thing that we don't understand, but Zan did it. She probably can't even explain it to us anyway.
Especially now that she's dying. she wouldn't want to waste time explaining that.
Yeah, that would be futile.
I also have an example from this episode of why I love this show, and that's when Scorpius is controlling Grunschlick,
Yep.
and he's talking. I forget who he's talking to, but then someone makes mention of when we leave. They explain a plan and then talk about leaving, and then Scorpius says to himself, "If you all leave." It's just so funny to me that he's sitting there making side comments that only he could appreciate.
If you didn't love Grunschlick from the previous episode, this one's gotta nail it. Especially with this Scorpius control thing.
He's really lovable in this episode somehow.
He's just awful, but kind of like you feel almost bad for him. I love it when he lapses a character when he's talking about how Harvey merged with John's consciousness.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was, how interesting. It's obviously
Yeah.
Scorpius talking for a moment. I laughed heartily at that.
I laughed when a non-existent crowd cheered hell yeah.
Hell yeah. You wanted John to have lasting effects from this whole neural chip thing.
I got it.
So yeah, Harvey is still there, but in a dumpster.
That's good enough.
How do you feel about the whole internal brain visualization thing they've been doing for the last few episodes?
It's fine. It's good narrative device.
It's a great way for them to never save money with bottle episodes because it adds in pointless location shoots. The show is expensive.
Sure, there's that. I liked when Stark admitted that he was improvising and didn't know what he was talking about.
Oh,
He
yeah.
just said, I didn't know it would work. I just thought it sounded good. Which, he made a reasonable extrapolation.
That was also my list of things I like about this show, because that's what you do when someone's lying on the hospital bed and you're like, no, you can do it, you can pull through, and you're secretly thinking, it's a bit touch and go here.
Right, you don't tell them you're probably going to die, maybe don't try anything.
Try as hard as you can, but there's a good chance you'll die, so RIP in advance.
If you fail, it's okay. Everyone's expecting you to die anyway. Anyway, Stark murdered someone to prove a point.
That was Mercy. Zan was trying to do mercy kills on John.
She was very eager to kill John.
So this last time we talked about how Scorpius left John alive perhaps as a backup. That doesn't seem to be the case, because now he's convincing through Grunschlick. He's convincing Zan to mercy kill John.
Yeah, he is. Well, he knows he has the info, right? He ate the thing.
Oh God, what was that?
I don't know. I didn't understand. He just ate part of it. Was that John's brain bit?
Yeah, it was a bit of his brain on it, but it's like, oh, he's gonna lick it, isn't it? Isn't he? Nope, he's not gonna lick it. He's gonna fully put the whole thing right in his mouth. It's so creepy. It's a proper Hannibal Lecter moment. So, but that confirms that he left John alive just to be a jerk.
Yes, which is good because it speaks to his competence.
He is quite a cruel and unpleasant person. All his tactical stuff and his pragmatism are not. You kind of end up thinking, oh, he's just being logical. No, he's actually quite a repulsive person.
We all have our faults.
So Stark's a killer.
Yep.
But John took the other two Interions back to the ship.
That was a weird choice, I thought.
They are genetically compatible with humans.
At least to some degree.
To some degree. That's at least interesting. And he didn't want to use any donors, so I don't know where he's going with this.
I don't think he knows either. But he got to make out in front of him. Maybe that was his plan.
Aaron seems to have a bit of PTSD about relationships now.
I was surprised she didn't have PTSD when they exchanged "I love yous" and wasn't afraid she'd get knocked out again.
Well, she was standing further away this time.
That's what did it. That was the difference.
I don't mean to make fun of Aaron's behavior. I think it actually shows a maturity in the writing, which often happens in this show, where characters have bad things happen and then are sort of feel bad about them afterwards and are really affected by them.
I'm glad stuff isn't pushed under the rug and there are long-lasting consequences for stuff on the show. We see it again and again. This is a good example.
All it does is it ruins other shows. The entire problem with Farscape is you watch it and all the subtle details that they weave in make you get really annoyed at other shows.
Any other show, they would have gotten it on right there.
Yeah, there would have been a really passionate embrace.
Shirtless love scene.
Whoa, well, yeah, maybe. But that doesn't make
Steam
sense.
for no reason.
Like, from her perspective, she recently drowned.
Yeah.
Because of relationships. She's probably not really feeling up to relationships.
It wasn't supposed to be funny, but I laughed when she was sitting in the chair suspended in air because it looked like a giant baby seat. She's in the ship's chair that was ejected.
Yeah, okay. I did not think of that like a child's car seat or anything.
I did. So it was humorous.
You're a strange one. Do you have a quote from this episode that you'd like to share?
Do not make me tongue you.
Yeah, that's Dargo to John when he's still non-lingual. That must have been deliberate.
Of course. Oh, wait. Do you mean on Dargo's account?
On the writer's account.
Oh, okay. Dargo's not clever enough to weave
weird innuendo.
Yeah. Into a threat.
Dargo had a few really good lines. They had the one about about one planet at a time.
He's right. Don't get muddled up with plan on plan.
They probably should have, though, because the plan didn't even work.
It all worked out. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. He did not tongue the Scaran to take it back.
He doesn't like tonguing in the cold.
Right. Is that how the rest of this podcast is going to be?
I didn't even mean that in a sexual way or anything. He didn't want his tongue getting stuck to some metal. You know, if he missed,
what if it got stuck to the
tongue went wayward? That would be funny.
Would that be funny? It might actually be funny, but probably not for Dargo. We should continue to the next episode in this season of death. See who dies next.
Zan.
Well, that would be the safe bet.
Yeah.
She's terminally ill due to lack of spiritual energy.
Not a lot of yield on that bet.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Doing it.